Today's video is not exactly something most dancers want to just hear. We are talking about being challenged and your expectations. I have found over the years that dancers sometimes come into class with their own kind of preconceived notions of what they anticipate class to be. Again, studios are all different. Teachers are all different. We've covered all of these topics throughout the week. Sometimes class expectations change depending on if you're getting ready for a show, if you've been building through each of your classes. The longer you've been dancing, you're going to be held to usually higher expectations. But those expectations of the dance instructor are sometimes different than what the dance student anticipates. When you take a dance class, you should be challenged. It is not always going to be easy. There should be those steps that you feel 100% confident in and you're like, yeah, I totally got this. But then there should also be the steps that you actually have to work for. It's not bad, however, to also be taking classes where the expectations are easier for you, so to speak. So if you're in a higher level, it's always good to go back and take lower level classes so that way you're still engaging in the foundations of everything. A plie should still be work no matter what class you're taking. A shuffle should still be work no matter what class you're taking. I've heard that dancers sometimes feel that they're being challenged too much. Sometimes I find though that that's usually the set of dancers that need to put in a little bit more work for some of the steps that they need. Sometimes it's just changing the mentality of things and realizing, again, we've talked about this, working with what you know. Dance instructors don't purposely set out to make your life difficult. We purposely teach with the mindset of knowing our dancers and what they're able to do and guiding to push a little bit harder so we can achieve more. I've also heard dancers say that they aren't challenged enough. Everything is just too easy. And those dancers I often see are the ones who haven't actually fully applied themselves, where they have been given corrections time and time again of things that they could be correcting and should be correcting, and they don't. I've also seen this happen for dancers who have come back out of an injury or an illness of some kind. They think they're going to bounce right back, and if the instructor says that they should not be doing certain things right away or that they should be easing into things, sometimes those dancers seem to feel that they are just not being challenged enough. And the thing is as an instructor, we also have to make sure that our dancers are training safely. We're not doctors. We can't see what's going on in your body. And so most instructors know to alter steps and whatnot to make sure that you are able to dance safely. Obviously, there are some exceptions to that. there are times where you maybe should just not be dancing, and that's a whole separate ball of wax, so don't confuse the two. I also see that dancers come in with, like, again, their own expectations and will sometimes combat what the teachers have to say. If they don't like what the teacher has to say, they'll go find one that tells them what they want to hear. It's kind of like shopping around for, like, a doctor. If you don't like what you hear from one, you may go find a few more until you get what you're told, and that's not always what you want to be doing. Sometimes you need a second opinion. Sometimes You also need to correct or apply the notes that you are being given. I've seen dancers, even in class, who try to say that they are just going to go home and practice. They're not going to do what's being asked of them right then and there. It's going to take time. They're going to have to go home and practice and then come back. The challenge with that becomes then there's no immediate application. Oftentimes we're training so we can learn things faster. We're training to work harder and push more in class and rehearsal for that matter. And so sometimes I see dancers just kind of mentally shut down while they're working on either of those and try to come back later. Some of that becomes an issue in the fact that if they go home, they will sometimes practice things wrong and have to recorrect when they come back in, or little details are missed, things of that nature. So it's not bad to have your own expectations. You want to obviously be setting your own goals, but that doesn't mean that it should be overriding your instructor. When I take class, I get notes and I'm expected to apply them. I'm expected to correct them right then and there. And it's something that it just takes some getting used to, and that is what it is. But again, it's good to go into class and be aware of these things. Now, obviously, there is some judgment. If an instructor is having you do something like unsafe, things of that nature, that is a whole separate ball of wax, and that's not at all what I'm in reference to right now. So you do have to have a little bit of judgment in certain regards, because I have seen some interesting things that should not necessarily happen. But again, that topic for another day. Hopefully, this helps wrap your mind a little bit more around some of the other dynamics that happen and what to kind of expect, and to again keep an open mind when you're in class and understand that there are differences between teachers, there's differences between students, and you need to have a little bit of trust in your instructors to know that they know what they're doing and how to teach you safely and effectively. I will see you tomorrow.